Familia, I'm so glad that you have decided to join us. Thank you so much for dedicating some time to this, the inaugural class of our Escuela Misional, our missional school. What we're trying to attempt, beloved, is to implement a hybrid model for our discipleship pathway. We want people to be able to continue their discipleship journey at Christus Community regardless of what's going on with the pandemic. If you and your small community think that it's safe and you feel safe to gather together, following all the procedures that we should follow as responsible members of society, then you're free to do that. But if you rather participate via the internet, via all the virtual options that we have, we want to encourage you to do that, to do so. Regardless of what approach you would like to follow, we at Christos, we want to provide for you. We want to give you the tools, the resources to continue being cultivated as humble follower of Jesus Christ. So we are creating this school, this set of teaching material, classes, um, presentations that will help you to do that, to be cultivated as a humble follower of Jesus Christ. The other purpose that Escuela Misional has is to serve our small community leaders, to provide for them, again, teaching material that they can use at any time. And in that way, they can focus more on shepherding and the heavy lifting in terms of preparing something to teach. It has been done or it will be done for them to support them, and then they can do the heavy lifting of shepherding and being there for the members of their community. This is our inaugural class. This is the first one. We're going to talk about season nights, and this is the first of 4 videos that we're going to have. This is just the introduction. Then we will have 2 videos to talk about the theological framework for the season nights. That framework, it will have 2 parts, and both are based on the Sermon of the Mount, very specifically Matthew 5, verse 13, and then 14 through 16. And as you remember, those passages talk about the church being the light of the world, um, the light and the salt of the world. Um, so, the salt of the earth, the light of the world. Yes. And we will talk. We're going to go fairly deep into those passages uh, to have this framework of why we do this. And then on the 4th video, we are going to give you 4, maybe 5 ways that you can bless your neighbors, that you can be a blessing for your neighborhood. Now, neighborhood is more than, we're using this wide definition or wider definition. Is not only the where you live and the next door neighbor, but really we're talking about people who are around you at your office, at your workplace, maybe your customers, maybe your employees, maybe your employer, co-workers, everyone around you, they are your neighbors. And we're going to talk about 4, maybe 5 ways. You will find out why, maybe 5 um, ways to do this, to be a blessing for those around you. Now, let me begin with the what. I know people that know about presentations, they say you need to begin with a why. In this case, let me begin with a what. What are we talking about? What are season nights? If you remember back in December, well, the winter of 2019, we launched this initiative, this ministry, this service to the community that we call season nights, and back then were winter nights. And we had maybe 5 of those winter nights. We gather at homes from members from our church, and the hosts invited their friends, their family, their neighbors, and some of us went to those gatherings. And the main purpose was to present the foundations or the basics of the gospel, the basics of the Christian message. That was the purpose. And it worked very well until March when we were about to launch spring nights, and then we had the pandemic. So we have to regroup. Now, what we want to do, we want to use those season nights. Fall nights are about to start, and they take place on a Friday. And we want to use that time, that specific Friday, or those specific Fridays, to be very intentional, looking around and be very intentional on finding opportunities to serve those around us. That's what we want to do. We want to pay very close attention, and more of these, how we're going to do it will come in the fourth video. But pay close attention to what's going on around us, that we may be able to serve them, our neighbors. Now, that's the what. Now, why? Why are we doing this? And let me just share with you two reasons. The first one is this. Why are we doing this? Because of what God has done already. Everything that He has done, everything that the triune God of the universe has done, including our salvation, our redemption, ours, mine and yours. And because this same God is the only true living God, is coming back soon. He is coming back soon. So because of what he has done, and because he is coming back soon, that's why we want to do this. We are compelled. I love that word in English. We are compelled to do this, to imitate him as faithfully as possible, that others may get to know him. That's the first reason. The second reason is this, beloved, that when we serve others, when we serve our neighbors with humility, compassion, and generosity, something very interesting happens. The gospel is affirmed in our hearts. The gospel of our God is affirmed in your heart and mind. In other words, through this kind of service, we get to know that the gospel is true. It's true in me. I know it. I can see it. I can feel it. There's all the historical evidence, yes, but also it has changed me. And this affirmation takes place regardless of how people respond. We may get, uh, you know, gratitude. Yeah, some people may say, "Hey, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you've done." Yeah, I mean, we may get that palm on the back. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe nobody will notice. Maybe nobody will say thank you. However, independently of the results, the gospel is affirmed in our hearts. And this for the glory of God, for the exaltation of his name. You and I are going to be more secure. No, that's not the right word. We're going to be more assured. Maybe that's a better word. More convinced of the truth that the gospel is advancing in us. So that's the other reason. Beloved, I want to thank you again for your time that you dedicated to this video. Know that there are 3 more coming up. I want to thank you for all that you have done to serve Christos community. I really appreciate that. If you have any questions, any comments, please let me know. Okay? Until then, till the next time we see each other, may the Lord bless you and keep you.